order the Public Works and Utilities Committee meeting. Attendance, please.
Taken.
Okay, attendance has been taken. Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, number 4 is comments from citizens. Seeing none, we will move on. So there's a memo in the packet. The first part of it's about the sewer connection fee. I'm going to talk about this one.
No, so when I was calculating the sewer connection fee, because we pay it monthly, I was looking at the rates a little bit more closely. It's just been a spreadsheet that's always just been set up, and I go in and do it. And the rates that we're charging did not correspond with the rates that were on the sheet, so I dug a little deeper and realized that the rates changed in 2015, and we never changed our rates for what we're charging. It's not a huge charge, so I included, how much we're losing every year. So there is a draft ordinance in your packet to just charge what DNR charges, to bring our rates to what their rates are. But that's sewer connection fee. I mean, right now for a residential service, you're gonna charge 6 cents a month, and it's gonna go up to like 7 cents maybe, so 1 cent. It's not gonna be a lot.
Makes perfect sense. Any discussion on the sewer connection fee change? Okay, and we got the electric rate increases. Heather's put a lot of data in here. Heather and I went back and forth on some information on this last week. Sorry, days run together. And we need to increase our electric funds so we can prepare for the substation that we need to replace. If I'm remembering, we paid like 1.6, 1.7 million last time, and we were about 2.25 this next time, so we're talking about $500,000 or $600,000 more. So we've got a gap that we want to fill there. So a rate increase makes sense. My biggest heartburn about a rate increase, and this is what Heather and I were going back and forth on, is how do we minimize it for people who are on fixed incomes? So as we were playing with the numbers, and I'm going to be in round numbers. Heather's numbers are much more exact, but I'll use round numbers. If we went with a $1 base increase and a 5% increase on the wattage, we would get somewhere around $190,000 to $200,000 in the budget in the electric fund annually, based on the data that we have here. To offset the seniors who are in fixed income, we have about 100 seniors who take a discount on the sanitation. We have no discount right now for seniors on the electric. If we gave them the same percentage, which is a 50% discount on the base rate, so they get a 50% discount on the sanitation. If we gave them a 50% discount on the new base rate, if they were the average users, it would essentially be a wash. It was within a couple pennies. So our senior citizens would actually probably, since they tend to be lower consumers of electricity, might actually save a few dimes. I mean, nothing to write home about, but at least it wouldn't impact, their monthly budgets. And for 100 homes roughly, on that 50% discount would reduce, I think it was like $6,600, $6,700 of the money that we would be adding into the electric fund. So very small amount to pay or to not get to allow a discount for the seniors.
So the question I have in that, then, if the current base fee is $10.05 and we give them a 50% discount, then we pay $5.03,
Well, it would go up $1 to 11.05.
So it'd be 6, so it would
It'd be
be,
551 or 553, something like that. And,
Right.
yeah.
and that helps offset their usage costs, is what you're saying, right? To make it.
If they were the average users,
Right, understood.
it would offset within 2 pennies. It actually would be 2 pennies in their favor.
Got it.
So it's essentially a wash.
That's what I
for-
was asking, okay, perfect.
So it's essentially a $1 increase, a 5% increase on the wattage, and the creation of a senior discount of 50% of the base. Gives us a shot in the arm that we need, but doesn't impact our seniors negatively.
And there's stipulations, I mean, not just because you're 65, you get the discount, like, there's like certain criteria for them.
It's 65 or older and living alone.
Okay.
When's the last time we raised the rate? Because it's been over a year, hasn't it?
Yeah, I would say probably, so we did a rate decrease in 18, and then we did an increase in 19.
We didn't do one last year, did we?
No, we haven't done, not since 2019.
But the average cost on this is gonna be, to the rest of the people, an average cost of about $6 or $7 a month.
Yeah.
On that 5% and the $1 base. So I mean, it's not a, actually, it was less than that, because that was with the sewage. The total was 6 or 7, when we were doing the numbers, so it was like $5.50. Yeah, that's what it was. It's like $5.50 for the average person on an electric rate increase.
I like your idea about this one.
We've done a good job purchasing electricity.
Yes.
We've done a real good job.
How long is the contract gonna last?
2030, through 2030.
So we know that we're not gonna be faced with
Right.
a big challenge in our budget with that. Good. I like the senior idea as well. I think it's, we need to look at is, we need to make sure that we're very clear about what those, who gets to assume that, right?
And it's the same rules we're applying for the other as well, so it's not like we're creating some
No,
new
it's true.
standard.
Right. So I can have a draft ordinance for the next committee meeting if that's what the board would like to move forward with.
Sounds good.
Can't buy a truck or anything now, or equipment, or a new building, or.
We already have that, we already have that
I see over there
budgeted.
going, all right.
We already have that budgeted.
Don't worry about it.
You're over here, cha-ching.
Yeah, it's about preparing for the substation is a lot of it.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll just add to what we're currently putting in reserves every year. We'll just add, and we'll increase that amount, so that we are.
Any other discussion on the electric rate increase? So the third one on there is the sanitation rate increase.
So, last week at our budget meeting, you asked me what the magic percentage is, and it looks like 10%. And 10% was after I made some changes to our expenses. So we have what we call a cashiering and collecting account, which is what the majority of city hall staff is paid out of, and things that are gonna benefit the city as a whole is paid out of it. It's really just a clearing account, and it's redistributed over among the general fund, water, sewer, electric, and sanitation fund every single month. So it's cleared out every single month. So I changed that rate from 25% to 15%, and that got us, so that changed those expenses, and that got us to a 10% increase for sanitation. And it gives us about an estimated, what, like $1,200 or,
It's not a lot extra.
it's not a lot extra, but it breaks even. So it essentially breaks even.
You gotta look at what's the average cost increase dollar-wise, do you know, that we'll probably see for the consumer?
Residential rates, $1.60 a month.
So we got $5.50 to $1.60, if we're talking about.
So, yeah,
So I'm trying to keep
So
the
I think
cumulative
it'd be
effect in my
about,
mind,
we're
right?
looking at like
What's the impact gonna be when they get that bill in the mail, right?
$5 to $10, I think, a month.
Right, so we're up to $6.50 or whatever it is,
Yeah, I know.
$6.60, whatever it is, what you were talking about. So that's why I'm trying to kind of keep up with that,
I
perfect.
estimated right around $7.
That's what it sounds like we're running about that.
For the, basically, if somebody uses the average electricity,
Well, I think that's part of the communication, right? It's why we're doing it, what it's gonna look like for you when you get it. So they don't get a bill and all of a sudden it's gone up again, it seems like to folks, right? So the more we can educate with that, and let's know the real number, what it's gonna average affect people, right? It'd be good for us to be able to communicate that, so I think some good work's going on with that, so thanks for what you're all doing, so. Good.
Any more discussion on the sanitation rate?
No, it's got to make it easy.
I'll move us on to the electric department activity report. Anything you'd like to point out for us?
Well, since this last month's actually been pretty junky, we've been doing some stuff that actually I've been wanting to do since we came here. We conducted a pole inventory over the whole system, and we've got I think, roughly like 98 poles that need direct attention to them within the next, I would say, 3 years. And we also mapped out all circuits with all switch points at above subs. So it's it was actually really good to be able to get it laid out actually on a map, a good visual, and then have each points where literally every switch or every cutout is for every main circuit throughout the town and where you need to tie subs in together and whatnot. We did that, and of course our every day-to-day stuff too. So.
Nice, very nice.
Correct.
Any questions, discussion on the activity report? Anything else for electric on here? Do we have anything for generation, purchase, distribution?
The only other thing is we did get our truck back.
Oh, I saw that.
We got that back from Alltech.
Yeah, it's been gone a while, huh?
Yeah, October.
Yeah.
They figured out the issue.
Yeah. It's running good.
Good. And moving on to Public Works, the street activity reports in the packet. Bill?
Oh, winter finally got here in January, so it's good.
Supposed to
Been
have
quite
more
a few
snow
days,
Thursday.
plowing and working on the streets and just maintaining equipment. And that was pretty much it. We did a little culvert and ditch work and some signs, but mostly just working on streets.
Thank you to your crew and anyone else who helped. I mean, it
Yeah,
definitely-
we had, big snow, we had a lot of good help from both departments, Hanover and Altus, so we had a lot of good help. Went very well.
When we got out, the roads were nice.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Had a lot of good comments about it from a lot of people, so nice job for everybody.
Anything for sanitation, stormwater? That stuff, no? Go to water and sewer. Activity reports in the packet.
Big thing on water wise, the lime slaker is working. They came down and, manufactured several different parts that we needed to make it, work for our plant. So it is working, we're still kind of dialing it in, seeing what it's capable of, and making sure we're not overusing lime and cost effectiveness of the machine, but, for the most part, it's doing well, so.
We were here a couple weeks ago, so it's been working a couple weeks.
Yeah, basically, we've been stair-stepping it down to see what we need to do to hit our numbers. So we're getting a lot of good data, seeing how the whole plant is actually working with this machine. So that's probably the biggest thing. Water-wise, had a few hiccups with some of the other newly installed stuff on the project, but they're taking care of those, so. Other than that, just regular maintenance stuff and new construction out in the field on the water side of things.
Any questions for the water and sewer? Mr. Forsey's reports in the packet. He's not here today. Compensatory, I'm stumbling over that word today, in lieu of overtime policy. Was the email that was sent earlier today?
Yes. So Samantha? Okay. Samantha is the president of the Employee Benefits and Safety Committee, so. Okay.
So we presented a policy to the employees from our committee, the Benefits and Safety Committee, and the majority of the employees are for it. Then we presented it to the union and they're okay with it. That's good. And Heather did research it and compared it to other policies, so we kind of just picked the best one that fit for us. And I don't know.
So it sounds like you all presented it and
Everyone liked
the
it.
majority of the employees are in favor of it.
Yes.
And you're telling us that the union's okay with it.
Yes,
Yes.
and it would not result in a change in the contract for the union, but it has some language in there that, says that this policy does not, actually I can just read it. It does not replace any of our adopted policies concerning callback, call-out, or special pay policies regarding emergency events. So that was just kind of some language that he had in there, and it's voluntary. We're not forcing employees to take comp time, but we are allowing them to turn their overtime into comp time if they choose to.
So it's just basically comp time in lieu of overtime at the same,
It's at the same rate.
Same rate,
So it's not
so-
costing the city anything else, it's just, you have your option of what you would want to do with it.
Right.
The good thing for us, it helps us manage overtime versus it hitting us for an event.
they set a reserve for it if they don't, if they sit on it 'cause in December. we
It's me, I don't even know what
Make
it
sure you manage
is.
it. Any
and
issues
why it's-
managing that?
No, and we've talked to department heads, and it's not just a free-for-all policy to say, yeah, you can just have as much overtime as you want to make it. We're still trying to curb overtime, but in the event we do need to do it, then they can have the option to turn that into comp time. Did you guys have any feedback from your departments on the comp time policy?
No, everybody was good with it in my department.
Interest in it?
I think so, I think everybody's interested in doing it.
Can they, he handed me this just now, but can they cash out comp time at any time they want?
Yes.
And what's the cash
At
out?
any time, or is it just at
Well,
December?
we were gonna allow it at any time.
Okay.
But they can only bank up to 40 hours. 40 hours for regular employees, 80,
Thought the number was different.
The police have different, they have a higher cap.
86?
it is, no, that's their,
Let's see,
Oh,
what hours of the week?
No, they got
Oh,
paid,
there,
they got
okay.
paid it if they worked over 86, and
no, it says 86 in here. I don't understand why it's that much different. I thought it was, it's supposed to be 60.
Yeah, I thought it was 60.
There's a typo, 60.
Oh, it's in black and white now?
No, it's not
We
being
haven't
adopted
voted on it
today.
No,
It was 40 and 60.
46.
We might be able to adjust that, later on, but. So,
Crushed it.
And that's just an annual
mhm.
program, right?
Yep. We'll pay out every December. Can we do it?
So it doesn't carry over, is that what you're saying?
No, it does not carry over.
It's not carried over.
any discussion on it? Seems like a reasonable thing to offer, if it didn't cost us anything other than a little maintenance of it, tracking hours.
Right. In our current time card system, we've already talked to them, they are able to add that policy, comp time policy, and they have the capability of doing that. So.
It helps minimize the peaks and it balances it some, especially when you're looking for that, it protects us a little bit that way, a little more stable pay.
So we would be looking to present this for consideration for adoption in March 20th.
Okay. Any other discussion on it? Any as may arise?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Have a first and a second for. Now I'm just.
I'm the only one. Compensatory.
Got a first and a
Compensatory,
second.
gotcha.
All in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned.